You want me to be crusty or nice?
Do half and half.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at the one half, not the other.
John, when Matt was in here the other day, he was talking about Covanta Ruggs. What have you seen from Covanta Ruggs?
He plays fast, man. He runs the ball, loves contact, loves the game of football. You can tell he's passionate about it. He's got great energy. He's really a quick learner from a football IQ standpoint, and he's just a kid he's kind of hungry. You know, I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder, and he plays at a speed. When you watch him on video, that I don't care if you're judging him as a DB, a linebacker, or whatever, that dude runs. I mean, he gets where he's going in a hurry. He's got a sense of urgency, and he makes our defense go faster.
Does
John,
he
I
made his
noticed-
way into that column of guys you're going to be counting on?
Yeah, I mean, we're counting on him. You know, depending on what he does, you know, the next 7-8 days is going to determine how much and how many packages we have him involved in. But he's going to play football for us this year, and we need him to. And we've got high expectations for him. And you know, anytime you got a young guy like that, there's going to be some growing pains and some things you got to learn through. But man, I'm fired up about what he brings, just from a you know, energy standpoint, physicality standpoint, effort, hustle, speed.
How did the linebackers perform in the scrimmage over the weekend compared
The Saturday scrimmage, I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruggs stood out. As a group, I was not real pleased. I felt a lot better about today. We did a lot of live scrimmage situational stuff today, and it was like night and day. And I'm not going to say we were perfect today, but I know you can just tell by body language, energy, demeanor, we were ready to compete today and practice hard and be physical and do some things you got to do to win football games. And on Saturday, I think probably we're thinking a little slow, moving a little bit hesitant, and instead of just letting it rip. And maybe sometimes you get comfortable with the coach being out there behind you yelling at you about a certain check or a formation and what to look for. And now all of a sudden we were on the side, and it got a little more quiet, and they weren't communicating as well. That was the biggest thing. We didn't communicate great on Saturday. Since Saturday, I've seen us locked in. And to be quite honest, Saturday was the only day of training camp that I didn't leave the practice field and feel like we took a step forward as a group. I feel like today I left the practice field feeling like, man, those guys were trying to get this football team ready and try not to be the weak link to what we're doing.
Do you have a top 4 or 5 right now?
I got probably 6, 7 guys who are still fighting for the top 4 or 5. I felt like Momo's made a move as far as learning the defense, communicating, being vocal, and I think Ruggs has obviously showed up. The other guys, I see strengths that each guy has, and then they all know, hey, here's where your deficiency is, or here's where you've got to improve. And so while one guy's strength may be knowledge of the defense, he needs to improve maybe his play speed. Or another guy's play speed may be really good, but he doesn't know what he's doing all the time. So, you know, we're trying to figure out how can we get those guys to be as complete as possible instead of one guy having this strength and another guy having another strength. Figuring out how we can get them to be complete, and then also playing to their strengths. You know, everybody's not going to be good at everything. So what packages can we put guys in to be successful that match their skill set?
Is there any chance that Hess works his way into playing time this year? Is he more of a redshirt candidate, or?
There's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. He rolled with the 2s for 2 days, and he's rolled with the 3s more than that. But he's been back and forth. Everybody in that room has gotten a crack at showing what they can do. I hadn't limited it to all 4 of the freshmen walking the door, and they've gotten more reps than probably most places are giving their freshmen during day 1 of training camp, day 2 of training camp, day 3 of training camp, because I want to see who's going to give us the best run for the long haul. You know, and I'm worried about game 1, but I'm also worried about building this position group and being good long term. And you may have to play some young guys and get them ready to go as fast as possible. And like I said with Ruggs, you may take a lump or 2 with him learning what to do all the time, but Hess has done some great things. Luke Knox has done some good things. Jaquez Jones has done some good things. All four of those young freshman guys, I think, are going to be good football players here. It's just, you know, a matter of Jaquez is probably the next young guy right now, just through this part of camp, has stepped up and maybe making a push to play a little bit.
That thinking and lack of communication you were talking about, is that specifically with the younger guys rotating in, getting so many reps, or is that everybody?
Yeah, it's everybody. You know, I think that's probably the most underappreciated quality of a great linebacker or safety is communication and where do I put my eyes. And you got to communicate every play. And at linebacker, you're communicating with the DNs, the D tackles, the safeties. I mean, you're communicating with everybody. And it's not like some other positions where maybe you're just focused on one job. You've got to help set the front, right, and then figure out what the fit is and figure out where the safeties are helping us and all those sorts of things. And so the communication piece, I don't care if you're a first-day player or a fourth-year player, if you're not on your game from a communication standpoint, you're going to have a drop-off and not be able to compete to play.
Is that disappointing to come from some of the older guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing to come from anybody. I hold them all the same standard. I want them all to be great. And like I said, Saturday, I didn't think we communicated great. I think we have every other day since then. Before then and since then, to be quite honest. We just had a drop-off, and that's the biggest telltale because that's when you're in a game situation. Today was probably the second most game-like situation we've had, and it was back to what it needs to be today. Today it was like what we're hunting in a lot of areas. We weren't perfect, but the communication standpoint, the energy standpoint, the body language standpoint, we looked like we wanted to play football and be a good defense potentially.
What qualities are you weighing more heavily when you're evaluating these players?
Yeah, you got to see guys that will make plays. I got a question a while back. Somebody asked me at some deal, who's going to play linebacker this year? I said the guys will tackle the guy carrying the ball. At the end of the day, we got to find guys that will make football plays. What's that mean? Defeat blocks, tackle the ball carrier, cover receivers when you're supposed to cover receivers, and play fast and physical. And I've talked before since I've been here a lot about that means instinctive football players. Some guys feel the game, some guys don't. Some guys, have to learn the game because maybe where they're coming from, and there's a sharper learning curve or a tougher one for other guys. But the biggest thing is just guys will make football plays. You got to go out and get the guy with the ball down. That's it. That was way too easy. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.